Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. Today we are doing a 10-team PPR draft from the 8th slot as requested by one of my subscribers whose name is Connor H. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Connor H. Especially. Now, if you are not already subscribed, think about subscribing because not only is it going to help me, it's really going to help you a lot because I'm going to help you guys dominate your draft with 3 videos every single day. And then during the regular season, you're getting videos daily there too. And then during the playoffs, when you need to win, there will be videos every single day too. And then you're going to kiss that beautiful fantasy football trophy. Now, if you don't already have a fantasy football trophy, belt, any of that, or ring, go ahead and check out my sponsor down below, fantasybros.com. If you use code Notorious at checkout, you get 5% off. So, let's get right into the draft right here. So, like I said, 10-team PPR, pick 8. So, the first pick of the draft was Saquon, followed by CMC, DJ, D-Hop, Alvin Kamara, Devontae Adams, and then Ezekiel Elliott. So, Ezekiel Elliott has been falling consistently out of the first 4 picks. Now he's fallen a lot towards the end of the first round. So, depending on how you view his outcome this season, depending if you think he's going to become and sign, if you think he's going to come over and sign, get that new contract, play week 1, then I think I would happily draft him at 7. Do I think that? Yes. But would I be able to pull the trigger at 7? Maybe, because if you draft Zeke, you have to get Pollard later. I know that for a fact because if you're without that Dallas running back, you are going to fail embarrassed without your first round pick. If he somehow holds out all season, you're going to feel dumb drafting Ezekiel Elliott that early. And I got burned by Lev Bell last year, so I'm not about to do that again. So right now, at the running back position, the best running back available, in my opinion, is James Conner. Now, Le'Veon Bell definitely has his spot on the Jets figured out. He's going to be the RB1 there, getting a bunch of touches. But do I really know how he's going to perform on the Jets? Do I really know how much they use him? He'll obviously be the running back 1 on the team. He'll get some touches. He'll get that red zone work, but who really knows how many offensive plays the Jets will run? Adam Gase is one of those guys who likes to take the clock, drip the clock, be one of those slow pace of play guys. And I never liked that, but it's okay because a lot of people like Bell. They think he could be a top 5 fantasy running back, and he obviously could. I think if he was on the Steelers, but I know who I do like right here, James Conner on the Steelers. Now, a lot of people talk about this running back by committee deal that James Conner is in. I don't fucking see it. It just ain't adding up to me because every single year that their coach, whose name is escaping me, was the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have used one running back and then like the change of pace guy, obviously, but pretty much exclusively one workhorse running back. When it was Le'Veon Bell, it was always Le'Veon Bell. Last year was Connor until he got hurt, and then it was Jalen Samuel. So you need to understand that they like to use a workhorse back in that system, and James Conner will be that workhorse back as long as he does not get hurt. So after we drafted James Conner, Michael Thomas came at the board, followed by Lev Bell, Julio Jones, Nick Chubb, and now it is our pick. So at this spot, I think it's pretty easy to just go and snag a wide receiver here. Now, I do like Joe Mixon at this spot, but I'd much rather just snag an elite wide receiver. I think Juju probably has the most upside to finish top 5 over Odell and Tyreek Hill, but I do know that Juju and James Conner are on the same team, but I'm not necessarily trying to draft a running back or wide receiver on the exact same team, so I think I would just go with Tyreek Hill. Now, Tyreek Hill has huge big play upside. He will have games where he absolutely wins you a week, where he scores 30 points, burns the defenders 2 times for 2 touchdowns, and absolutely wins you a week. But then I'll have games where he scores 8, 9, or 10 points, and you'll be kind of disappointed. But at the same time, if you go with Tyreek Hill here and you get some solid wide receiver 2s on your team, you'll never really be disappointed because Tyreek Hill will win you weeks, and I like Tyreek Hill here. After we go with Tyreek Hill, Dalvin Cook came out the board, followed by OBJ, Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Todd Gurley, Mike Evans, Kerryon Johnson, Leonard Fournette, Pat Mahomes, Damian Williams, Adam Thielen, Joe Mixon, Zach Ertz, Devontae Freeman. So the first tight end off the board was at the 2-6 was Travis Kelce. Typically, Travis Kelce goes between the end of the first round or the middle of the second round. He never escapes the second round pretty typically. Now, Zach Ertz went in the third round, so the other tight end that is up in that range, George Kittle, will eventually go here between the third round or the end of the fourth round. He will be gone. So now where we are at, also Pat Mahomes, first quarterback off the board. Now you got to understand that Pat Mahomes in your at-home league may come off the board in the first or second round. That is something you need to know. So right here, there's a bunch of good running backs that I do like in this position. I'd much rather just not draft AB. Now the things are coming out that he returns the helmet with that, or returns to helmet. He returns to practice with a new helmet. Who really knows about fucking Antonio Brown? I was drafting him a few days ago. Now I'm just avoiding him, and I will stick that really just don't draft him onto him. I don't trust him. He's a diva, and I won't be caught dead drafting him in this draft. So I'd much rather just go with a running back here. Now, there's a lot of things, but I want to talk about Marlon Mack first because I think he will end up being the pick. Marlon Mack, right now, they're saying that he's going to get even more touches because they're going to move him into a 3-down role. Typically, they were using Naheem Hines on 3rd down if they'd use him as a pass catching back. Now it's looking like Marlon Mack is going to have all of that value, be the true 3-down back that you really want in fantasy. So I like Marlon Mack here in the 3rd round. After with Marlon Mack, Keenan Allen came at the board, followed by George Kittle, AB, Amari Cooper. So now we get another choice at these running backs here. This is a very hard decision right here. Do I want Aaron Jones, Green Bay running back, who has a lot of upside, is also great PPR back? Do I want David Montgomery? There's a lot more unknown with David Montgomery. He had a great preseason thus far. Sorry if I keep pausing, but because my stomach's acting up. David Montgomery has been relatively good in the preseason and in camp. Josh Jacobs looks like he could also emerge as a running back, could be seeing a shit ton of touches on that team. Or you can go with Chris Carson, who in my opinion is the safest bet here. Now, the thing is with his injury, he's been injured in the past, and the thing is that he's going to get 2/3 of the touches on the team, according to the coach. I think it'll be more of 60-40 split. It'll be him getting 60, Penny getting 40. And I also like Penny in the draft, but I think that Chris Carson, if he gets 50 targets, like Pete Carroll is talking about, he could be a amazing pick here, and I think that is who I would go with in this situation. I love Montgomery, I love Aaron Jones, I love Josh Jacobs, I love Chris Carson, so it's very hard for me to decide here. So I think any of those guys would be the right pick here, so I'm just going to go with Chris Carson. Melvin Gordon was a do not draft there due to the holdout situation where I think he could miss 8 to 10 weeks. So after we went with T.Y. Hilton, Melvin Gordon, or after we went with Chris Carson, T.Y. Hilton came off the board, followed by Melvin Gordon, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Julian Edelman, Stefan Diggs, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, Chris Godwin, Kenny Galladay, Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, and now it is our pick. Time to get our wide receiver 2. And AJ Green is off our board because of the fact that he's going to miss multiple games at the beginning of the season, and he's already an injury-prone player dealing with that turf toe for a while, so I just don't trust AJ Green. So I'd much rather go with another wide receiver around this range, whether that is Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, Jarvis, or DJ Moore, or even Mike Williams. That is what you need to decide. Do you like Calvin Ridley being the wide receiver 2 on Atlanta looking to really break out? Do you like Tyler Boyd being the wide receiver 2 on Cincinnati, being who will be the wide receiver 1 for the first couple of games while AJ Green is out? Do you like the wide receiver 2 on the Cleveland Browns and Jarvis Landry, who will have amazing games now that Odell is on the field and can take away some coverage from Juice? Or there's DJ Moore, the wide receiver 1 on the Carolina Panthers as of right now. If Newton stays healthy, DJ Moore could be dangerous. Or there's Mike Williams, wide receiver 2 on the LA Chargers. With Keenan Allen's injury and his injury history, Mike Williams could end up as the wide receiver 1 on that team, and that could have definitely have some solid value. But right here, I think the safest bet is Mr. Tyler Boyd, Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver. Now, while he was out there with AJ Green, he played better. But a lot of people use that as like, oh, now he's going to be bad because AJ Green isn't in, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck ever, man. Tyler Boyd is going to be good with or without AJ Green. Tyler Boyd was dealing with, when AJ Green was off the field, he was dealing with a backup quarterback. Andy Dalton was not playing. He was dealing with Jeff Driscoll, I believe. So I think Tyler Boyd could really be a great pick here and is a solid wide receiver 2 for my team. So after I went with Tyler Boyd, Sony Michel came off the board, followed by his teammate, James White, Philip Lindsay, O.J. Howard. So right here, I don't love Ingram. I don't love Coleman. I like Sanders a lot, but I'd much rather think I would just go with a balanced approach and go with 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers here. The tight ends are still pretty good. There is some definite quarterback value here in the 6th round, actually, that I definitely would think about going with here. But I think I'd much rather just obtain one more wide receiver that I know could be my flex, or if Tyler Boyd does end up playing like shiz the wide receiver 1, even though I don't really think he will. But then you definitely have that option to switch Boyd out for a different option. That's what I would do. Now, I like all of these guys, like I said, but I think I'm going to go with DJ Moore here, wide receiver, Carolina Panthers. Now, I do love Curtis Samuel late, but I do think DJ Moore, and while Curtis Samuel did play better down the stretch than DJ Moore, I think that DJ Moore still definitely has that value if he's the wide receiver one on the team. Cam Newton loves to throw the ball to him. Now they got rid of the guy who loves dropping passes, Devin Funchess, so DJ Moore could see even more targets. If Cam Newton's shoulder is healthy, I believe DJ Moore is a solid flex option or a wide receiver two option, likely every single week. So after with DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley came off the board, followed by Mark Ingram, Aaron Rodgers, Evan Ingram, Deshaun Watson, Tevin Coleman, Jarvis Landry, AJ Green, Hunter Henry, Mike Williams, Baker Mayfield, Alshon Jeffrey, Matty Ice, Austin Eckler. So if you haven't noticed, Andrew Luck hasn't came off the board yet due to the fact that he has that calf injury that now moved down to the ankle. Do not draft Andrew Luck. You have to avoid him at all costs. He may miss 6 games, maybe 3 games, maybe just 1 game. Maybe he comes back, or maybe he's out the whole season. You don't know with Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck will tell you he's healthy, and he'll miss a whole season like 2 years ago. You just don't really know with that guy, so I'd be avoiding that at all costs. So we got very lucky, as one could describe it, as a very lucky play because Miles Sanders, running back Philadelphia Eagles, that I target in every single draft, fell to us. Miles Sanders is a rookie running back, and I know that Doug Peterson has been using that RBBC, the running back by committee approach to his offense in the past couple of years. But what I do think is that Miles Sanders will emerge as that RB1. Maybe it's not week 1 or week 2, maybe it's week 3 or 4, but he's our running back 4. We can afford to wait a couple of weeks just to play Miles Sanders. And Miles Sanders will be definitely could be a top end RB2 if that does roll his way. That is the first time the Eagles have wasted a higher, not wasted, I would say, but used a higher draft pick on a running back in years. And I think that's because they love Miles Sanders. He played amazing in preseason last week. Him and Jordan Howard played pretty good, but he played better. 31. Calling as far reporters are calling for him as the clear RB1 in Philly. So I like Miles Sanders here. So after with Miles Sanders, Carson Wentz came off the board, followed by Drew Brees, Christian Kirk, Robbie Anderson. So, right here, we're just going to wait on tight end because there's only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 9 tight ends that I would be comfortable with here, so we can just keep waiting. So, right now at the quarterback position, there are guys like Andrew Luck on the board who I'm avoiding. Luck, Murray, a bunch of guys that will still fall to us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks already off the board. Pretty typical for a 10-team draft that about 7 will be off the board by round 8, depending on how serious your league mates are. Now, if you have a bunch of guys that are late round quarterback guys, the value in the 6th round is going to be amazing like it was here, where you can get Rodgers in the 6th, Watson in the 6th, Baker in the 7th, Matt Ryan in the 8th, or in the 7th. Amazing value there. So we currently have 3 wideouts and 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs. So we're still going to build that more running back value here because depth, because I like getting depth at a position that is definitely has a lot of scarcity in it. Once the draft gets late, it's hard to pick which guy you want because at the end of the day, I say I like someone, but that guy could be a certified bust because it's very hard to predict these late round running backs. So I'd much rather just go and buy one that I really like drafting, and that is Mr. Latavius Murray, running back, New Orleans Saints. Now I know he is the running back 2 on the team. He is likely will have no chance of emerging past AK, Mr. Alvin Kamara. But if Alvin Kamara was to go down, he would be a top 12 back pretty easily because he would be getting a lot more of the workload. Now, even when Alvin Kamara is injured, when Alvin Kamara is in the game, he can still vulture touchdowns. He's still going to get about 10 touches every single game. Alvin Kamara is much more of a pass catching back than one of those workhorse backs. So they obviously will be using Latavius Murray a lot. They could be using 2 running back sets where both of them are on the field. And I believe that Latavius Murray is a great pick here. After Latavius Murray, Jared Cook came off the board, followed by Mr. Injury-prone Will Fuller, Tariq Cohen, Rashad Penny, Curtis Samuel, Lamar Miller, Allen Robinson, Kenyon Drake, Dante Patos, Darrell Henderson, Darius Geis, D.D. Westbrook, Kalen Balaj, and Andrew Lucky Charms. Now it's time to get another wide receiver or pull the trigger on a tight end. And right here in a 10-team leagues where I'm willing to pull the trigger on a tight end and get Mr. Vance McDonald. Now, I know I pick him in like every fucking video, so you guys definitely have heard the spiel, but if you're new, I'll give you the spiel again. He is a tight end that will have so much upside this year. AB is gone. Jesse James is gone. That's like 200 vacated targets. Now, obviously, it's not all going to go to Vance McDonald. He's not going to get 200 targets. It'll go to Vance. Some will go to Juju, even though Juju is still going to his target numbers from last year were still very high. Some of them could go to Juju, and that'll be like James Washington, Dante Moncrief, all the other wide receivers, and James Conner as well. But what I do know is Vance McDonald, if you combined him with Jesse James was the starter last year at tight end. Now he's gone. They shipped him off. It's just the Vance show. But if you combine them, they were the tight end five in fantasy football. Now you can't combine them because you're obviously not going to be seeing that much production because out of just one guy, unless they're like Kelsey or Kittle or Ertz or even OJ Howard. But at the exact same time, I think Vance McDonald will have a solid season. He's a big body, can score touchdowns, could see 6, 7, 8 targets in some games, and I think we'll score about 50 yards every game. And if he comes down with 4 balls, that's like 9 points a game. And I love Vance McDonald here. After him was Big Vance McDonald, Jordan Howard came out the board, followed by Kareem Hunt, Chicago Bears defense, and Larry Fitzgerald. So now it is time to potentially look the way of a quarterback in round 10. Now, if you're thinking that you want a quarterback in a 10-team league and you want to wait, that is definitely the right decision because there's going to be a lot of value here. Kyler Murray, Cam Newton, Jared Goff, famous Jameis, Lamar Jackson, all still back here. If it was my pick right now and I wanted to go with the quarterback, typically I don't go with this quarterback, but I think that since it's a 10-team league and I know I could pick up a quarterback if this guy was to get hurt and not play well, I would just do it now, and that is Cam Newton. We have DJ Moore on the bench. We could play him as our flex, and we could have that connection, the stack. Now, I don't necessarily always go for a stack, a tandem, whatever you would like to call it, of the quarterback and wide receiver, but what I do know is that getting Cam Newton and one of his favorite targets, DJ Moore, on the same team will be good. Now, we did deal with that shoulder injury last year, so there is some question marks with Cam Newton, but he looks like an absolute running back out there. He'll rush the ball 8, 9, 10 times a game, get you an extra 3, 4 points, 5 points every single week just by rushing. He will vulture Christian McCaffrey on the 1, 2 yard line. He'll do some fake handoff shit, steal it himself, jump over, hand the ball to a kid in the crowd, and be amazing. Now, Cam Newton, when he's healthy, is typically a top 10, top 5 quarterback in fantasy football. He's projected to be ready week 1 against the Rams, and I am very much ready to go with Cam Newton here in fantasy football in the 10th round. So after with Cam Newton, Duke Johnson came at the board, followed by Sterling Shepard, Geronimo Allison, Rolls Royce Freeman, Sammy Watkins, MVS, David Njoku, Kyler Murray, Josh Gordon, the savior of the universe, Eric Ebron, DK Metcalf, Jared Goff, Jalen Samuel, and Marvin Jones. So this is a 10-team league, so you do not need to draft a backup quarterback or a backup tight end. You could just find them off the waiver wires. We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs and just 3 receivers. So we will likely go wide receiver here because there's a lot of value in the 11th round in these 10-team drafts. Now, if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you know I hate Corey Davis, so I won't go with him here. Well, I'm going to read about Emmanuel Sanders real quick because Emmanuel Sanders is hurt he tore his Achilles last season, had an off-season ankle injury, but he looked healthy in his return. He was making good cuts. He tailed a 19 rushing yards on an end around. The veteran wide receiver looks to solidify his spot as the wide receiver 1 on the team. Now, I think that he probably has the most value here because he could be the wide receiver 1 on Denver, and that could obviously be pretty good with Flacco slinging the rock his way. I think that Emmanuel Sanders will be pretty solid, and there are definitely other picks here that I could go with, but I could just go with 2 wide receivers here and get 1 more running back, so I'm definitely willing to take the risk on Emmanuel Sanders here. So after with Emmanuel Sanders, famous James came out the board, followed by James Washington, Ronald Jones, and the Rams defense. So don't pick a defense this early. Wait till the last 2 rounds, depending if you go defense kicker or kicker defense, whatever floats your goddamn boat. So now we are going to go with 1 more wide receiver here to build that wide receiver depth. And in my opinion, the best wide receiver that is still available is Mr. Kiki Kuti. Now, the thing is with Kiki is he may be injured for the first couple of weeks. He had that ankle injury in the preseason, so he could be banged up maybe 2, 3 weeks of the season. You lose that, and then you don't play him for a couple of weeks because you want to make sure he's all good, make sure he's able to run those routes, make sure that he's back to peak Kiki. And if Kiki is able to get healthy, plays 12, 14 games this season, I think he will be a solid flex option. Now, the thing you have to worry about is obviously he's the wide receiver 3 on the team. They don't run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, but we also have to know is Will Fuller is very injury prone. Will Fuller typically gets hurt a couple of games into the season. He's a certified beast for like 6 games, scores you 25 points, looks like a goddamn world beater, and then his leg just gives out, okay? So, a few weeks into the season, Kiki Kuti will be amazing, and I like his value here in the 12th round of my fantasy football draft. So, I just went with Kiki Kuti. Terrible Corey Davis came out the board, followed by DJ or Deshaun Jackson, DJ's David Johnson, LaShawn McCoy, N'Keal Harry, Cortland Sutton, Russell Wilson, Matt Breida, Peyton Barber, Austin Hoopa, Devin Singletary, Carlos Hyde, Dante Moncrief, TJ Hawkinson, Big Ben Roethlisberger. So now we get a running back, and we're going to go with an elite running back, in my opinion. He's not actually elite, but a running back that I like to target back here, and that is Justin Jackson for his, in my opinion, could be the RB1, not the RB1 of the team, but could potentially have RB1 games. And you're getting even the 13th round. Well, Melvin Gordon is out. He could have RB1 games. Now, I'm not saying it's obviously going to happen, but he can't do it. You saw his production last year when Melvin Gordon was injured. He played amazing in those couple of games. I believe Justin Jackson is definitely worth a 13th round pick, while Austin Eckler is definitely worth a 7th round pick because Austin Eckler still has value when Melvin Gordon's on the field. Justin Jackson has none, but in fantasy at least. But I think that Justin Jackson is pretty safe back here because I believe Melvin Gordon is just not going to find that contract. It seems like a dispute where not Justin Jackson, where Melvin Gordon is just going to put his foot in the ground and not move. So I think that Melvin Gordon will hold out and Justin Jackson will be amazing here in the 13th round. So after Justin Jackson, Golden Tate came at the board, followed by Lamar Jackson, Justin Tucker, Greg the Legs Zuerlein, and now it's time for us to pick our defense. So the way you're going to pick a defense is you're going to go on Google, okay? Type in NFL schedule week 1. Look for a defense playing against a shitty offense the first week of the season, and then if they play a shitty offense week 2, that's even better, or week 3 as well, that's even better. But we're just going to draft based on week 1, and week 1 the Cowboys are playing the Giants, and then they play Washington, and then they play Miami. So 3 good matchups for the Cowboys. Oh my fucking god, I'm an idiot. Oh my god, I'm going to switch players, change player. Oh, I messed up so bad because the Cowboys went. Can I change? Here, wait. We're just going to have to remove every single player from the draft here because we clicked the wrong button because you're dealing with an idiot because he clicked the wrong player. So we're just going to remove everyone here. I'm so sorry, guys, to delay the video for just a defense. I know, but I'm pretty fast at clicking. I get those fast twitch finger reflexes. So we're going to draft the Cowboys here. After we went with the Cowboys, the Jags came at the board, followed by the Chargers, Ravens, Vikings, Browns, Houston Texans, Denver Broncos. So now when you're in your at-home draft, you need to make sure that you are being careful when you click the draft button. I was not being careful enough there. So now we're going to draft the defense, kicker, Matt Prater, and then AP came at the board, followed by Anthony Miller. So our finishing starting lineup at the quarterback, we got Cam Newton. Our 2 RBs are Mr. James Conner and Marlon Mack. Our wideouts are Tyreek Hill and Tyler Boyd. Our tight end is Vance McDonald. Our flex is Chris Carson. Our kicker is Matt Prater. Our defense is the Cowboys. Our bench is comprised of DJ Moore, Miles Sanders, Latavius Murray, Emmanuel Sanders. Got the double Sanders connection, Kiki Cootie, and Justin Jackson. So thank you guys all for watching the video. If you did end up enjoying, please click that subscribe button that's either on your screen right now. It's the picture of Johnny Manziel. You click on that, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell to get notified for all the videos, or go down below and click that subscribe button. I love all of you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Come back later for some more videos. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye.